sponsored by National Geographic Mission Programs, taking science and exploration into the new millennium.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Boyd Matson, alongside one of the streams that flows into the Potomac River just outside Washington, D.C. Our rivers, lakes, seas, and oceans are full of unexpected surprises, some of which we're going to explore in an aquatic adventure. And we begin at a much bigger river, the Amazon, with one of our National Geographic researchers who is looking for a powerful hunter that's in need of help. Day breaks in the Brazilian Amazon, revealing a mysterious carnivore on the prowl. The black caiman is among the largest and least known of the crocodile cousins. It's also one of the toughest. Having studied caimans for more than 2 decades, National Geographic Society grantee John Thorbjarnarson is right at home among these giants. During a routine nighttime count, John shows just how close you can get with the help of a 6-foot pole.
The black caiman is by far the largest of the caimans in South America. It's basically like a tropical alligator. It's a very pretty animal, actually.
Black caimans were once hunted nearly to extinction for their coveted skins. Today, they're coming back, thanks to strict anti-hunting laws and protected areas like the Mamiroa Sustainable Development Reserve. But poaching is once again on the rise, and a black market for caiman meat is growing. Conservationists have a bold plan to protect black caimans, and it's not what you might expect. They want to legalize caiman hunting in Mamiroa.
The long-term plan, or the long-term hope for what's going to happen here is that it would be a sustainable harvest done on an annual basis. A small number of caiman would be taken that would provide economic benefits to the community, and those economic benefits then provide feedback for the protection of the ecosystem itself.
It's a program that is already being used for the pirarucu, a giant fish that all but disappeared due to overfishing. Now, with a carefully regulated annual harvest, they're thriving, and Mamiroa's pirarucu are sought after in markets throughout the region. But for the plan to work, wildlife managers need to make the harvest sustainable by protecting the core reproductive population. And that's where John comes in. If he can find out which caimans are breeding and which aren't, he can help hunters limit the harvest to only non-essential animals. John sets his sights on a single remote lake where the animals are known to breed. His goal? To get a DNA sample from every caiman living there, and that includes those that haven't even hatched yet. Together with fellow biologist Robinson Botero Arias, he collects all the eggs from around the lake. For weeks, the eggs incubate in nest boxes until they're ready to hatch.
It's his birthday.
Back at camp, researchers weigh and measure each hatchling. Then they take a small tissue sample, which also doubles as a way to visually identify the animal.
This is a very standard way of marking crocodilians. It's a permanent mark. It doesn't really do any damage to the individual, and it provides a good genetic sample.
When they're through, John returns the youngsters to the lake where they were collected. Next, the team prepares for round 2 of their Caiman Round Up. This time, they're after the adults. According to Robinson, the key to a successful expedition is a little help from local fishermen.
Siempre que venimos a desarrollar nuestras investigaciones, estamos acompañados por un conjunto de personas que viven en la región, que conocen el área, que conocen tradicionalmente la biología de las especies, entonces son parte fundamental de ese trabajo.
Seemingly without fear, men wade in the caiman-filled waters. Some set the nets. Others cut and move large mats of vegetation out of the way. It's the same technique the fishermen use to catch pirarucu. But now, instead of trying to keep the caiman out of the nets, they're trying to lure them in. Before long, a patch of water begins to boil with activity. It's a big female, and she's not going down without a fight. Once she's in the boat, John takes a tissue sample from one of her tail scoots. It may look extreme, but for her, it's about as painful as trimming your fingernails. The researchers carefully catalog and preserve each bit of tissue. They'll test it later to find out which hatchlings, if any, belong to this female. A splotch of orange paint identifies her in case she's captured again. And then she's released back into the water. For days, the team combs the entire lake, catching caiman after caiman after caiman, until there aren't any caimans left to catch. Already, John's results show a clear trend. It appears that the bulk of breeding goes on in remote lakes, hidden deep in the flooded forest. Dominant males drive smaller surplus males out toward the open waterways, where humans can more easily find them.
There's really no doubt that if the hunting is limited to these open water systems where we found that they're mostly adult males, and it's done on a managed basis, that the harvest will be sustainable. And that would provide significant economic benefits for the local communities.
In the nearby village of Yarawa, John and Robinson, along with government officials, researchers, and potential buyers, meet with the entire community. They decide unanimously to allow the sustainable hunt.
If you have the people who live here as the stewards of the area, and they have an economic stake in the protection of the area, then that's really the best system of all.
It's a victory for the residents of Mamiroa, as well as for conservation. And for the black caiman, it's a step toward a sustainable future here in the emerald heart of the Amazon. Our search for